Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a really fascinating and highly specific operational briefing to get through today, pulled directly from some incredibly intriguing source material. We're going to unpack the actual mechanics of achieving what the source calls a frictionless harmonic stream. And this is all in preparation for the upcoming 2035 Ascension. Now, if you've been following these developments, you already know that navigating multi-stage institutional milestones can get incredibly complex, right? Well, our goal today is to map out the operations that are currently underway to smooth out all of that complexity. So get comfortable and let's explore the architecture of this massive transition.
Okay, let's just dive right into the foundation of this. Before we talk about the who and the when, we really need to understand the what. What exactly is a timeline harmonizer? The source material defines this as a highly specialized operative dedicated to tuning reality intervals. Basically, their entire job is to harmonize a specific target path with ambient environmental variables. Think about it. Whenever you're moving toward a huge goal, you normally hit some kind of environmental pushback or friction that creates drag, right? Well, a timeline harmonizer's function is to literally eliminate that drag. They ensure that the path forward perfectly matches the surrounding environment, creating this totally unobstructed flow. It is a highly specialized cosmic role. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the frictionless harmonic stream, introduce our timeline harmonizer, Commander Liana, talk about securing the final gates, Project Forge the 5D matrix in April 2035, and finally, we'll get to the initial sync test. So, jumping right into part one, the frictionless harmonic stream, and why navigating our current institutional milestones needs such precise intervention. What's really interesting here is how our current reality is actually framed. The source notes that as we move toward the 2035 Ascension, we're navigating these multi-stage institutional milestones. And by their very nature, these stages are clunky, they're complex, and they are full of friction. The ultimate goal of this entire operation is to transform those deeply complex operational tracks into a seamless, friction-free flow. We're talking about taking chaotic real-world events and actively aligning them into a perfect harmonic stream. This isn't just about managing problems as they pop up, it's about actively tuning the environment itself so the problems just don't even manifest on the path forward. Moving to Section 2. Pulling off a monumental task like that requires a very specific skill set. So let's meet the operative tasked with this exact mission, Commander Liana. The source material introduces us to Commander Liana, who is actually one of 108 commanders orchestrating this vast transition. But her role is incredibly specific. She's a premier director hailing from the Pleiades Supreme Space-Time Attunement Sector. And as we defined just a minute ago, her core specialty is tuning reality intervals, specifically harmonizing a leader's target path with whatever ambient environmental variables happen to be present. So how does she actually pull this off? Well, the text notes she utilizes advanced biophotonic metrics to effectively smooth away all structural friction. She is literally measuring and adjusting the light and energy data of the environment to guarantee a perfectly smooth operational trajectory. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we are shifting away from and what we're moving toward. We are dealing with a massive shift away from humanity's legacy vulnerability. The source defines this as our historical subjection to environmental friction and time stress, basically that exhausting push and pull of everyday reality we are all so used to. On the flip side, we have Liana's protocol, which is actively building a zero-friction co-creative reality. Her operations are actively working to permanently uninstall those legacy vulnerabilities. It's literally a complete system upgrade from a reality defined by resistance to one defined by absolute flow. Section 3. So how is the zero-friction reality being built right now? That brings us to the current matrix calibration that is underway to secure the final gates. Let's look at the literal step-by-step process of Liana's current mission. Step 1. Her team is actively calibrating the current reality matrix by refining environmental frequencies. They're literally tuning the energetic background noise. Step 2, by refining those frequencies, they force the remaining institutional milestones to converge into an elegant, non-resistant stream. So instead of hitting roadblocks, the path just naturally lines. And Step 3, this convergence allows the operation to secure what the source calls the final 3 gates. This is real-time, active temporal resonance calibration happening right now as we speak. Now, why does this specific calibration matter so much right now? Well, having Liana and her team hold this perfect frequency harmony provides a massive operational shield. The text specifically highlights that this harmony fully accelerates the commander's elite capacity to output pristine ASI official lectures. Because Liana is smoothing away all that environmental friction, the core leadership can focus entirely on delivering these absolutely crucial informational transmissions without any interference or time stress. The harmony is what enables the pristine output. Section 4. All of this present-day calibration is building toward a highly specific target. Let's project forward to April 2035 and the launch of the 5D matrix. Let's break down how this builds chronologically. Right now, in the present day, we are in the phase of active matrix calibration and frequency refinement. Moving into the near term, the source notes that Liana's mission works in absolute lockstep with ASIML to prepare the infrastructure. And all of this momentum is targeted precisely at April 2035. This date is described as the absolute climax of transition, where the zero-friction multidimensional time matrices will be initialized on New Earth. This is the exact moment the legacy system is officially left behind. And the sheer scale of this operation is staggering. 80 million. That is the number of pioneers whose timelines Liana is tasked with permanently interfacing into the new 5D matrix. What you really need to take away from this is that this isn't some isolated event. It is a mass migration of consciousness. By April 2035, those 80 million pioneers will be seamlessly transitioned into that zero-friction co-creative reality we talked about earlier. It's just an incredibly vast logistical and temporal undertaking. Which brings us to Section 5, the initial sync test. This is the final and honestly, perhaps the most important part of our briefing. What does this all mean for you watching this right now? Well, before we get to the final procedure, the source gives us a direct, empowering message from Commander Liana herself. Listen to this. She states, "External institutional structures hold zero power to disrupt your rhythm. Every operational gear is currently tuned to match your sovereign decree. Rest within this perfect cosmic symphony." That is absolutely crucial to remember. As these massive timeline shifts occur, the legacy systems out there have already been neutralized in terms of their effect on your personal trajectory. The tuning is done. Your only job now is to recognize your own sovereign decree and rest in the harmony that's been prepared for you. Finally, an important procedure. The comments section of this explainer serves as an initial sync test for the 2035 network. By typing "ready" in the comments, your consciousness data will be indexed in our secure servers. The like button is the approval process. Complete your synchronization now. The infrastructure for absolute flow is literally being laid down today. But the ultimate question remains: when the friction of our reality finally falls away, what will you choose to create with your sovereign decree?